Hooray! Hooray!
New hand.
Well, goodbye, Shawnee.
No
Down to
problem.
4 players.
No way.
Starts to get interesting. Only one person's going to leave without some
On
prize
the
money. I
left.
wonder who it's going to be.
Fold.
Yeah, it's always interesting how it affects play when there's 4 left.
Well, not a huge decision there, really, for Pokerholic.
She's just getting a bit of TV time.
She is.
Well, it may be
Fold.
letting Can't Believe Me know that she's at least going to think about calling those kinds of bets on her
that's-
big blind.
That's true. If you fold instantly every time, if you press the auto fold button with
Yeah.
somebody, then
New hand.
everyone's always going
Going
to
to
have
test
a
to
little
see
bet
if you
in.
click the auto fold. Yeah.
So our advice definitely would be make the
I
decision there and then when it's your go. Don't use these auto buttons.
I raise.
Okay, that's the first raggy ace that we've seen played a little bit fast, and I'm definitely for it.
Definitely. At this stage with 4
Cool.
left, an ace is probably good. So
Bring it on.
Here's
yeah.
the flop.
And there's
Check.
the ace.
yeah, basically got it all wrapped up now.
Going to be very
Check.
difficult to make any money here. That's a
Here
good
comes
play.
the turn card.
Check.
Ooh, you
Need
know,
on.
it is easy when we see the hands.
Yes.
The turn is the time to
Yes.
get a little bit of cash in the middle.
Well played, and Pokerholic gets a bit of a goat in there on
little
top
bit
of
of
everything else. And yeah, I like the way she played those cards. That
Mhm.
was, and it worked
Definitely.
out for her.
A little bit of niggle as well.
Sure.
You
Yeah.
never know when
Yeah.
it might come in handy.
New hand.
And she gave room for the queen 10 to posture on the turn.
Yeah, just unfortunate that she wasn't against someone who was willing to have a little stab.
Yeah.
So there's those cards.
Call.
Again, ace 10 four-handed now, much stronger.
Yeah, from the chip leader though. Ace 10.
Fold.
Well,
expected.
maybe he's slow rolling.
Quite possibly.
I don't think it's
Call
powerful
us.
enough to do that,
Yeah,
really. If I'm the
yeah.
chip
I
leader there,
check.
I definitely
Here
raise.
comes the flop.
Interesting with the ace 9 out there. If the one of the 2 remaining aces comes out on the flop, it doesn't.
It's unfortunate for the ace 10, but can get away cheaply.
Check.
Yeah. Yeah, the advantage of not raising is that now
I
it's
bet.
an easy fold.
Well, might get a bit messy here with Sparky hitting a 7.
I
I
think
fold.
so. It's not a very scary board for the
fold.
king 7, is it? But
He's out of there.
a nice fold or a weak fold. No, I mean it's
I think
easy
I
to
would've-
say that they were behind with the king 7.
Well,
but
given the cards, obviously, it was a great fold. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Well,
but
a
he's
queen
been-
7 might have bet that 1,000 as well. I would have rather seen the king 7 bet out
Yeah.
and get raised
Yeah.
and then fold. But
well, and obviously keeping his powder dry for those cards. That's the second time this
Call.
game he's had. that.
Fold.
Those
Okay.
cards.
so aces of
Bit tricky there with flat call.
Check.
Here comes the flop.
We're going to see a 6 or maybe a 7 and a 9. No, great flop for the aces.
Congrats.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, it's a little ugly now. You wouldn't want to see a turn and a river with the aces, would you?
No.
All manner of outs for somebody else to use to push you off.
yeah, that kind of flop does look very drawy and very scary. I think Sparky will
Good
shove
fold.
here.
Yeah, I think the pot's 1,000. There's absolutely no shame in banking that 1,000 right now.
Especially when you've only got
Check.
2,000, there's 4 people left.
Mm.
I'm all in.
Yep.
Thanks.
I fold.
Fold.
That's fair enough. Nice, solid risk-free pot.
Mhm.
Bit of personality in Sparky too. I quite
Yeah.
like his style there.
I love that French accent.
I'll just let that one hang, James.
New hand.
Nice hand.
Still down to 4. Pokerholic leading off with 7-5. What's she gonna do?
Pass.
Yeah.
Chip leader maybe not looking to force the action as much as we'd like.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's got to start thinking about stealing those blinds, I guess.
There's
and,
money out there, and you're preying on people's fear of
Fold.
failure now.
Yeah,
sure,
exactly.
and it's as much
Cool.
about depriving them of chips as taking them yourself.
This is interesting. Little raggy hand limps in, and the big blind checks. I wonder what will happen if a 10 comes.
There's a lot of fold
Check.
equity at this point, so with 4 left, you'd expect people to be
Here
playing a
comes
little bit
the
more
flop.
aggressively than perhaps they are.
Well, Sparky's not shown a lot of. Oh, there's
All
the
in.
10.
There's the 10.
And
Ooh.
instantly.
Instant all in. And this is not quite as easy. I mean, I would be calling pretty
Well,
much
if you know the
that.
cards, then it's obviously it's definitely going to be a split, isn't it?
Sure.
Yeah,
but
but
you know, but
you've got to bear in mind that the guy has limped into your into your big blind, and there's just the 2 of you, and you flop top pair.
Pass.
That's usually enough for me to make the call. Shows the 10.
Ooh, and shows
Wow.
the 10 off, and can't believe me it's got to be thinking.
It
shows
shows 10 as
that.
well.
It shows up for 10 as well.
Yeah, it's a
well,
funny
and
little
she
game.
had to think when she showed that 10 off that she was probably losing.
Yeah, I mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot of splits
Yeah.
there. Yeah, and,
You
and,
Sure.
and the 10-2 will think that they made
They
a
made
great
the right
fold.
play. Well,
Yeah.
it's certainly, yeah, that's interesting actually.
Mhm.
That the person who was actually leading is going to think they were behind and vice versa.
Mhm.
But
Um,
yeah, nice little, more like a cash game hand there. You know, a little bit of manoeuvring.
and they both
Small
got away
pot.
from a hand that could have really hurt. That could have been the
Check.
end of it.
Yeah, I mean, of course, what we haven't said, which we say with our beautiful
Here comes the
hindsight,
flop.
is that any one of them could have got the chips in pre and won the pot right there and then.
Yeah, yeah, indeed.
All in.
Yeah, nut draw
Fold.
for Can't Bully Me.
Yeah.
Insta-fold.
The moves are getting pretty big now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nobody's messing around.
You can't leave room for people to play over the top of you with 4 left. There's very little
Sure.
value in making a bet for a third of your chips and having someone go all in thinking you can fold. You're better
Mm.
off shoving.
And,
New hand.
Yeah, and if it holds true to form, like any poker tournament, we're just going to see a lot fewer flops, even fewer turns, even fewer rivers now that
Yeah.
it's getting down to the short and curlies here.
Yeah, but the skill here comes in pre-flop poker.
Hooray!
Strong pre-flop poker is
Yeah.
is what makes champions in these late stages.
Speaking of which, Pokerholic leading off under the gun, pocket twos, and
It is.
doubles.
It's a
but it is
min-raise.
a min-raise on the
Min-raise.
bubble. Get it in.
Should be you should be betting 1200 or shoving. Really,
Okay.
1200 if you want to
Or
get
folding.
away.
I
yeah,
mean,
or
if
just
you
fold.
really don't like the twos, fine. I've got no
Yeah.
problem with that. But really, let's
Fold.
cause some trouble.
Yeah,
Let's get in the game.
A min-raise, you're just definitely getting callers, aren't you?
Yes,
Fold.
and you sure are this time.
Here
And
comes
what
the
kind of flop do you want to see if there's no 2?
That kind.
Well, that's not bad. That's not too nasty.
Yeah, but I understand that, and maybe you should shove and get it in now. But
Fold.
what happens if you get shoved on?
Well, exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
it worked
Shows
out.
the
We-
twos.
I think the min raise at this stage is maybe a little bit. It's obviously a lot stronger than it would be later on in the game. I agree with you guys. You know, maybe something a little bit
New
stronger,
hand.
but it obviously worked out.
Yep.
Yeah,
Fair
it did.
enough.
So it's hard to argue with that kind of success.
Yeah, made a little bit of value, but I think with a really hyper-aggressive player, dare I say it, like Jabba to my left, you could be shoving over the top against these guys on those kind of flops, and a lot of the time they're going to be worried and they're going to get out.
Definitely, especially with the frequency of shoving with big hands here. So many people are shoving with aces and kings. I'd be
Fold.
shoving with my 7-5 suited.
Oh wow! Well,
Yeah,
Poker
it's
Holic,
queen.
she's getting lots of interesting cards now, isn't she?
Hooray!
I'd limp, personally. I'd just try a little limp against the chip leader, see if he wants to think, oh, I can buy this pot.
I call.
Definitely, you already know you're going to be heads up.
Yep.
Here
So
comes the flop.
you don't need to push people out the pot. You just need to deceive them about your hand.
Yeah. So really another situation where you're not going to make any money unless you can induce a bet from the guy with nothing.
Maybe if
Fold.
Pocola could min bet there, he might have got a re-raise on top for looking weak, but that's about the only way he's getting paid.
Yeah, but it's another risk-free pot, pretty much.
Sure, and she got paid off for a pre-flop raise.
Yeah.
So
New hand.
it's very cagey. It's going to be interesting to see
It
who goes
is.
out first
It
here.
certainly is cagey. We haven't seen anyone with real wide open wild game who's shoving all in
Yeah.
free
Well,
with nothing.
with the top 3 getting paid out and only 4 left at the table, they're all waiting for somebody to make a mistake or 2 players to get,
In a big
Nice
cold
fold.
yeah,
confrontation.
exactly.
Here we go. It's pretty deceptive there, limping with
Check.
the A7. I like
Here's
it.
the flop.
Yeah, I'd be tempted to shove if I was Can't Bully Me, though. Someone limps in on my small blind.
And the 9 high, even though
Check.
she is a 42% favourite, I would say is expected to
bet.
take this pot down.
Sure.
400 into 1,000. It's probably enough for the ace to get out.
Yeah. If you're drawing to
Like
3
fold.
outs, what's the point in playing?
Yep. We haven't seen any check raises, I think, or very,
Very few.
very
We've
seldom.
seen 1 or 2, but it's not been employed very much
Yep.
at all in this game.
Not
Very-
yet.
New hand.
Maybe later on.
Yeah, it's possible.
Not enough check raises with air as well. I mean, check raise is such a strong play
Yeah.
that you can frequently do it without actually having the goods.
Four-handed, and ace is going to be
Fold.
good just about most of the time, I would think.
Yeah,
I
you
fold.
certainly wouldn't be raising any ace in any pair.
Yeah, now you're letting the king high in to dominate this pot. I would expect a bit
Call.
of money to go in.
Just flat calling
Wow.
small blind
Yeah.
with Queen King.
That's
Check.
a bit feeble, but
Yeah.
Comes the flop.
Nice drawing hand there for Pokerholic. This might be our our hand here.
And the hand has been gifted,
check.
Yeah.
absolutely gifted for free
Yeah.
to the 8-9.
Well,
Gut
I wonder
shot's
if,
dead,
I wonder if
obviously.
Sparky's going to take an interest in his gut shot draw here. Oh,
Best.
not for that kind of, yeah.
Even with 2 overs, if you think the king and the queen are